Do you want to know what Revelation 14 means? And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion. That's our first clue. He's standing on the mountain. And with him were 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And of course, this is the 144,000 sealed elect. From Revelation chapter 7. Verse 1, And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, because they're about to blow the 7 trumpets of God. He cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the sea and the earth, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel, 12,000 from each tribe. It's not really a question as to who these people are. They're 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. We're still in Revelation 7. I'm going to skip down to verse 9, give you a morsel of meat. Be sure that you can chew it. After God marks the 144,000 in their foreheads, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne. They're in heaven, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. How did they get there? Not by the rapture. That's Revelation 13. There are 2 beasts in Revelation chapter 13. The beast from the sea, and then after that, the beast from the earth. Verse 15, And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That is how the multitude from every nation, creed, and tongue makes it into heaven. They die for not bowing down to the image of the beast. And then he gives the mark, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. A Christian better never see the mark of the beast, because the multitude from every nation, creed, and tongue that arrives in heaven dies for not bowing down to the image of the beast. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion. And with him were 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. At this point where Jesus is standing with them on Mount Zion, they have already been redeemed from the earth. Let's take a look at exactly when that happens. That's Matthew chapter 24. Verse 21, For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, if God doesn't shorten the great tribulation, there should no flesh be saved. There won't be anyone alive for God to save off the earth at his coming, if God doesn't cut the great tribulation short. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Otherwise there would be no we who are alive and remain. Verse 29, Immediately after the tribulation of those days, not the great tribulation, the tribulation. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. That's the great tribulation. That's Revelation verse 12. Verse 5, And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. That's Jesus being born, crucified, and ascending into heaven after rising from the dead. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. That's the first 3.5 years of the tribulation. Immediately after those days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. The stars fall from heaven, the powers of heaven shaken. Untimely figs. And the dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. That's talking about the saints that die in the tribulation. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Not God's wrath in the great tribulation, Satan's. because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. That's the great tribulation. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. The last 3.5 weeks, the great tribulation. Revelation 14, verse 4, the 144,000. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Let's see, that's Isaiah chapter 56. Verse 4, for thus saith the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant. Even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off, the name of the Father in their foreheads. If you want to see them get marked, read Zechariah chapter 9 real quick, and know that there is a near and a far to prophecy, because history does repeat. You want to see Philadelphia? It's Isaiah 57, verses 1 and 2. You want to see the tribulation and the great tribulation? Read the rest of Isaiah 57. I've not told you things in vain. It is a wheel within a wheel. Revelation 14:4, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the firstfruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Now let's back up and see how they were redeemed. Revelation 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. At the end of the great tribulation. Revelation 14, verse 6, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. The angel will preach the gospel to everyone, saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. From Revelation 12:17. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Verse 13 there is said directly to John while he's writing this. And I looked, and behold a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. This is the rapture. He comes on the clouds. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. The great tribulation is cut short by the seventh trumpet. This is the marriage of the bride to Christ. Revelation chapter 11, verse 18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou should give us reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. The marriage of the bride to Christ happens at the seventh trumpet, in the sight of all nations, while they mourn, and God's wrath is dumped on their heads from 7 vials. And then the marriage supper of the Lamb, which thing is called Armageddon. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came down from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. The wine for the marriage supper, the righteous washing their feet in the blood of the wicked. Revelation chapter 14 shows the 144,000, tells you who they are, and how they get redeemed, in a chronological order that can be found directly in Matthew chapter 24. Revelation 12, Revelation 13, the whole book of the Revelation. This is the pattern of history repeating.